Good day, class. I am Teacher Claire. I hope you're having a good day today. So, if you're ready, let's start. So, the topic for today is all about new literacy, functional literacy, and multi-literacy and their impact on teaching and learning process. Are you familiar with those terms? So, if not, you need to listen well. And by the way, if you have any questions, just ask me and I will give you an answer. So let's proceed. Let's talk about literacy. So do you have any idea of what literacy is? Yes, that's correct. Literacy simply refers to the ability of an individual to read and write. So before, people are using dictionaries and other reading materials to enhance the reading skills as well as the writing skills. But in today's era, electronic means such as computers are widely used. Students are more capable of using technology as their learning tool. And it leads to the development of new literacy. So, what is new literacy? So, new literacy is defined as the new ways of learning to enhance ability using technologies. So, students are known to be digital native. So, at these modern times, learning is flexible. So, students can easily learn new skills with the help of technology. So, there are 7 types of new literacy. So these include first, multicultural literacy. So multicultural literacy is the ability where students understand ethnic groups that comprise the population of focuses on complex issues of identity, diversity, and citizenship. So second is social literacy. So it is the ability of an individual to develop social skills, knowledge, and positive values in human being and act positively and responsibly in sophisticated, complex social setting. Third is the media literacy. So it is the ability of an individual to access, analyze, evaluate, and create media. Fourth is financial literacy. On the other hand, it is the ability to make an informed judgment and make effective decisions regarding the use and management of money. Fifth is digital literacy. So it is the ability to effectively use digital devices for purposes of communication, expression, collaboration, and advocacy in a knowledge-based society. Next is creative literacy. So it is the ability of an individual to make original ideas that have value and ability to see the world in new ways. And lastly, eco-literacy. So it is the understanding of principles of ecosystem towards sustainability. Those new literacies are needed to acquire to become a new literate. So it is true that students are now living tech-saturated lives, using internet, having cell phones, desktops, and laptops, and uses social networking sites. But that doesn't mean that they are highly skilled when it comes to these new literacies. So according to Lu, having traditional literacies is not an indicator of having these new proficiencies. So as the world becoming more digital, traditional instructional materials are no longer widely used. But that doesn't mean that the role of teachers is necessarily diminished. So, on the contrary, teachers are even more important as they guide students to context of learning. So, these new literacies impacts teaching and learning process and it requires teachers to develop these new literacies for themselves before they can support students in developing these new literacies for themselves. So it is essential that the teacher must also engage in new technologies and literacies surrounding them to increase their field expertise. So the next term is functional literacy. So let us define functional literacy. So functional literacy refers to the practical skills needed to read and write for real life purpose and to effectively function in their community. So it stresses the acquisition of appropriate verbal, cognitive, and computational skills to accomplish practical results in specific cultural settings. Literacy materials present reading and writing and numeracy concepts using words and ideas needed in using information for learners to enhance sufficient literacy skills and continue learning on their own. So, a new functional literacy aspect called specific literacy is becoming a trend. So, in which the job of the student is to analyze, to see exactly the literacy skills needed and those are not taught. So, this is to prevent job skill mismatch. So, in specific literacy, the student may learn very little but will be immediate value that would result in increased learners' motivation. So therefore, the specific literacy strategy is a planning tool that allows the literacy workers to focus on skills that are of value to the others. So next is multiliteracy. So multiliteracy is the ability to identify, interpret, create, and communicate meaning across a variety of visual, oral, corporal, musical, and alphabetical forms of communication. Beyond a linguistic notion of literacy, multiliteracy involves an awareness of the social, economic, and wider cultural factors that frame communication. So, multiliterate learners use information and communication technology or ICT to redefine the nature of reading and writing and communication as well. So, how should teacher education prepare teachers to multiliteracies? So, applying multiliteracies to teaching offers new classroom pedagogy that extends and help manage classrooms. So, due to globalization and technological changes, teaching multiliteracy is indispensable to literacy teaching and learning in 21st century. So, according to BWAS, can develop strong literacy skills. Multiliteracy impacts teaching and learning process as it requires students to integrate technology-enhanced educational tools into their work. So teaching multiliteracies can inform, engage, and encourage students to embrace the multiplicity of learning practices. So in addition, teaching multiliteracy can help teachers blend and apply the following four instructional processes of multiliteracies in classroom to ensure successful teaching and advancing students' learning processes. So the integration of new literacy and the teaching of multiliteracy open new pedagogical practices that create opportunity for future literacy teaching and learning. So multiliteracy can also help teachers provide equal access to learning for all students. So in effect, students learn to collaborate by sharing their thoughts with others in online spaces where they can engage in different forms or models of learning process. So consequently, students can be expected to become more confident and knowledgeable in their learning. So through participatory and collaborative practices as a result of this literacy integration in the curriculum for teacher education. So that's it for today, and I hope that you learned something from me. So thank you for listening.